So Gremlins 2 for me is a solid sequel, and even though it's not as good as the first one, I do think it has a compelling story and was able to continuate the story in a lovable manner. However, that can't be said about every franchise because Ghostbusters 2 sucked ass.
No, I believe it's one of the fettuccinis.
Yeah, just my personal opinion, I never took to a Ghostbusters 2. I think it's fucking shit in my opinion. And yeah, I think the sequel you would have thought would have failed. And I'll tell you why, because it's not based around Christmas, it's not based around Kingston Falls. The small little town, not in this film, and it not being based around Christmas are two factors what made the original Gremlins good. And not having it in this film, you would have thought that would have failed, and not having a few of the main characters from the first one in here neither, you would have thought would have failed. However, it worked because they continued the story with Billy, who was still from the first film, and his girlfriend. And that made sense, as he was now working somewhere else. He was working in a big skyscraper, and he looked like he weren't having the time of his life, but he got his dream job. He'd settled down a little bit. He'd gotten a life away from Gizmo and the troubles of the past. However, his troubles of the past was soon going to haunt him, as Gizmo was taken from the shop in Chinatown and taken to the skyscraper which Billy is actually in, as Gizmo's on a different floor in the animal testing things, because they're testing, seeing what makes him him, because he's a mugwai, nobody's ever seen it before, and they're testing him to replicate it and see what makes him tick. And I think that was an interesting part of the story, because Billy only finds out that Gizmo is in that said building that he's in when somebody around the hall starts whistling Gizmo's song that he would sing when he's happy. And so when he hears somebody whistling it, obviously they've met Gizmo, and then he goes up to the floor where this postman heard it from, goes up to the floor and finds his friend Gizmo, and then takes him back downstairs away from the animal testing room and puts him in his drawer. But then again, this is called Gremlins, so where's the Gremlins actually going to come into this? Well, Billy goes on a date with this other person, which isn't his girlfriend, and leaves him in the drawer. He escapes the drawer and then gets covered in water, respawns a load of people that look like him, then eventually they turn into Gremlins. And this is the whole movie of these Gremlins taking over a full skyscraper, causing havoc, wreaking havoc, and want to get out. And Billy and his girlfriend and all the other people must try to stop the Gremlins in their tracks before they take over not just the skyscraper, but when it turns nightfall, they can take over the fucking world. And although the first one's based around Christmas, it's got Corey Feldman in, it's got that little cool town called Kingston Falls, it doesn't have Hulk Hogan in. This one has Hulk Hogan in, brother.
Do I have to come up there myself?
Yeah, this is one of the most iconic scenes from this film. And also the Gremlins singing New York, New York, which is also pretty fucking iconic, let's be honest.
I wanna be a part of it. New York, New York.
Let us know down in the comments down below which Gremlins movie moment is your favourite. And I think that obviously we're familiar by now with the Gremlins. Who the Gremlins are as villains, they're great, they're enjoyable, they wreak havoc. But in this movie, they take that notch to a whole new level of insane, because we see Stripe now as a fucking spider, which is a mashup from the animal testing room. We also get to see Brain Gremlin, which is this smart gremlin which can actually talk. We get to see Greta, which is a woman gremlin. We get to see an electrifying gremlin, which is made of electricity, which they use at the end of the film to defeat most of the other gremlins. We've got different variations of gremlins and weird mashups of them because of the animal testing rooms, just other stuff, and the way that they wreak havoc is completely different in this movie, and it's different, it's enjoyable, and yeah, I think the Gremlins just took it up to a whole new level of villainly stuff and whole new aspects to their characters, which just makes them really cool little monsters. I also think that the ending of Billy coming up with that great idea, which was to cover all the Gremlins in water, in which everyone looked at him and went, "Are you fucking stupid?" and then got the electrifying gremlin and then chucked it on them, and then they all fried. And they were thinking, how mental is this kid for thinking we'll just add water to them because that's what makes more gremlins. But it worked into defeating them, to stop them from going outside, because the first plan that they had was to make it look dark outside so that they would go out into the light and they would all die. However, that wasn't the case. They were However, that wasn't the case, as a storm brewed and it wouldn't have worked if they'd have gone outside. So I think it was a great idea to end the film in that scenario, Billy and his girlfriend being the saviors of the day and saving Gizmo in the process. And I think it's just a great ending to a great underrated sequel, in my opinion, that doesn't exactly live up to what the first one does, but it is another compelling, solid sequel that we've grown to love over the past few years. Before we jump back into this video, guys, please do us a massive favour and smash that subscribe button, because you do not want to miss a thing this week, next week, and the week after, because we've got tons and tons of content planned for you guys, and you can do us a massive favour by smashing that subscribe button, joining the community, getting updates to all the latest videos from the YouTube shorts to the actual videos. It is well worth it, completely free, and you will not regret it. So to summarise Gremlins 2 then, this is easily 7.2 out of 10 and a great film. Let us know your thoughts down in those comments down below. Is it good, bad, terrible, amazing? Let us know all that jazz down those comments down below. And also, if you haven't yet seen our Gremlins movie review, go give that a watch now.